What is going on, guys? I am Zach.
And I'm Fiorella, and we are growing slow and wild.
And in 2018, we bought this bus behind us, which is a 2003 Ford E450.
We converted it in over 2 years. She has a 7.3 liter engine, and we are excited to bring you home. Let's take a look.
Out here, as you can see, we just have it painted white and yellow. We just used standard exterior house paint. We used a flat paint. We like the way it looks a lot, but if we were to do it again, we would definitely go semi-gloss and potentially even gloss, just because cleaning it is a little bit of a hassle. But other than that, we love the way that it looks. For the sides, we rolled most of it. We had to obviously use small brushes for the details, but this is all rolled. We did tape for the line, but that's the only part that we taped. Everything else is just free-handed. We don't mind the imperfections. We just wanted to save on tape and everything. But I would definitely recommend using an oil-based paint before you put on whatever paint we did, because it'll just help seal everything a little bit nicer than what we had done. Back here, we have our back deck that we built. It is about 2.5 feet long, and we just have it bolted into the actual framing of the bus, so it's not welded. It is technically removable. We like it a lot. It's really nice to sit on, you know, for sunsets and for outdoor picnics. The only downside is in parking lots. It definitely is a little bit more of a hassle because you have to worry about that extra 2.5 feet, but we like it a lot. And then here is just our ladder that we actually repurposed from an old broken down RV in the storage unit where we were building the bus. Helps us get up there, check out the solar panels, and just get a nice roof view. Up here we have our 4 100-watt solar panels that are routed into our solar system downstairs, which we can show you later. And this is our solar shower. It is 6-inch wide diameter PVC, and we just have it running the length of the bus. It holds about 10.3 gallons or so. We just have a little nozzle over there that we untwist, and that's how we fill it up. And we just let the sun hit it, and because it's black, it heats it up. It makes it really nice and warm, and it is just gravity fed into our shower, so there's no plumbing or hot water tank or water pressurization. It just goes straight down in, which we will show you when we get in there.
In the front of the bus, we did keep the original bus doors. I personally love them. We do have unique doors because they're all fully glass, so we couldn't alter them. So what we did end up doing is just mess up with the gear on the interior so that we could lock them from the inside, and it works really nice. And then we get to keep these bus doors that have so much personality, and we love them. Our stairs, we did try to do like the stick and peel tile. It didn't hold up as well as we wanted it to. It does come off, maybe just because it's a high trafficked area, but they were a nice touch when they were up for a little, so that's gonna get a remodel soon. So now that you saw the exterior, let's go inside. So we want to show you. Let's go.
Let's go.
The front of the bus is probably my favorite part, and it's pretty new. We did this while we were on the road. We added just a little front area so we could hide some of the stuff we keep, which is mechanic stuff like coolant and brake fluid and weird stuff like that. Zach made this door with like 100-year-old wood from a farm we worked at for a little bit, and it's really nice, so it holds a mess in there, but now you don't get to see it. Instead you get to see just little rocks and things we collect in the road. The dash is probably our favorite part. We did spray paint it. It was very gray, very old, and very ugly, and we just spray painted it, I think a sand dollar color, which is pretty cool. And then we hit the radio recently just to add a little more character. Again, that's that old wood from a farm we worked in. Up here we do have a pallet wall, so this is all with free pallets that we found. It was the last part of our build, so that was a fun little addition to it. And we're collectors, so we collect rocks, and these are actually all of the screws that we took out from the bus when we built, or a good majority of them. So we carry them with us as a little good luck charm, and just the skateboard and some little decor items in the front.
Back here is where the rest of our solar setup is. So we have our 2 100 amp hour gel batteries, and this is our 40 amp charge controller. Behind the skateboard, as you can see, that's where the wires go. They connect to the batteries, which connect to the solar panels up there. We had to upgrade our charge controller when we were on the road, so that's why it's much bigger than the old one was, and that's why we have this setup. But we actually like it a lot because we can just see it at all times. We can just monitor it and just see what we're doing. So for the dinette area, we have 2 benches and they both fold open. This one houses our shoes and some outdoor chair gear and stuff. It's a little bit of a mess, so don't mind that. We have our cushions, and this is our table, which is actually just an old door that we got at Habitat for Humanity, and we just chopped it in half, so we really like it a lot. You can still see the hinges right there. Moving up here, we just have an open shelf where we just, you know, have a catch-all and some art supplies and some old vintage books. We love just like collecting old things, so we really like those a lot. A little word board, and that's pretty much it up here. So the table is just attached to a 1 1/4 thick metal rod. We just had to get the 2 little elbow or legs for it and just screw it up here and screw it down there. I would say if I was to do it again, we would probably go with a thicker rod and a thicker base plate because it does wobble a little bit, but overall we do like it a lot.
Okay, well, we want to take you to the bathroom, so let's go. So this is our full enclosed bathroom. Over here, we have a DIY composting toilet. Very basic, just urine diverter, bucket, but works really nice, so we're really happy. Just some storage, some plants to make up the ambiance. We went with the dark blue, so it could be more like a spa, kind of moody in here. And then we do have like this film of like stained glass. It was just in Walmart. It was really cheap and it works really nice. They can't see in and it keeps that natural light coming in. So this is probably one of my favorite parts of the bathroom. But the funnest part is definitely our shower. Our shower is very unique. These are just like metal slidings panels, and then we have some cedar that we treated to be in the shower, and a shower pan that's actually just a galvanized tub, and we really like it. It works really nice, especially because our shower, like Zach was telling you, is solar shower and gravity fed. The flat shower makes it really nice for the pressure and the water, and we have a little window seal and everything that I really like with the little window that we kept. This is a really nice spot.
Over here we just have a little clothes rack. We actually really like this a lot. This is one of the things that came from our old studio apartment. So we just throw jackets, purses, bags. We actually really like that part a lot. This is an old mirror that we thrifted, and we kind of move it around the bus every few months. And this is our closet with our vintage door. Just all of our hanging things. White is Fiorella and the black is me. And yeah, we like it a lot. It's nice to have a designated space for all of our stuff. I think if we were to do it again, we would move the location of the closet over the bed so that we can still have that space, but we're not losing, you know, the square footage of the house. And then down here is a big broken drawer that holds, you know, bigger things like old work clothes and jackets and pants and all sorts of fun stuff.
Okay, so we're going to talk about our stick. So actually we did keep our original air conditioner for the bus. We just like encapsulated, and since it was this big thing, we wanted to add a little bit of character to it. So while we were in Zach's dad's property, we just found this stick, and I absolutely love it. So it's just screwed into in 3 different points and just kind of brings up the outside in, and we call it our lucky stick. We do have a full-size bed. Technically the space could fit a queen, but we decided to keep the full-size bed so we could have storage and fun things around the bed. Like on this side, we have a bookcase, and I love it. It does hold majority of our books. We do have books all around the house, but it's like a little bookcase, and then we keep a little like rocks and spiritual things to your books. This is probably our favorite. We collect like a lot of stuff, and you can tell we put the locations of where we find it, and it's just rocks or leaves or parts of cactuses that we find in the desert. So in addition with our vision board, it's like our little fun corner of the house. Moving to this side, we do have more storage. These two have like board games and some arts and crafts and some books and things like that as well. And then back here, as you can tell, we do have an exposed like cable for our lighting. Because we did our electric all the way at the end of our build, we had to get creative with it. So we have this like exposed look going on that also goes with our light. We love our light so moody and warm. It is at 110 volts because all of our power system is actually in a 24 volt system. So both our electric for the fridge and our phones and everything is in 110 current. It works really well for us. We haven't had any issues. I think it helps the fridge run more efficiently and our lights too. It's been really nice.
Down here is actually our garage. So this is the entrance to it. These two old doors actually came from a vintage like cabinet that we had in our apartment, and we loved them so much, so we had to take them with us. And I'm mixing up the carpet. But in here we just have some painting things, you know, a lot of garage stuff. Just, it's a big mess right now. I was told to clean it and I didn't, so ignore the mess. But moving on, up here is our windows and our covers. These are actually just some fabric that we bought and we sewed into the sides of the window, and we just roll them up. It's a really basic system. Just has a dowel in here for weight, so it's just one piece of wood and a bunch of fabric, and we just tie them up. We only have them in the bedroom area. So on these windows, we have some window covers that we keep in our closet that are actually made out of reflective insulation, and we just sewed some black fabric around it, and that just slides down. Usually easier than this. Usually much easier than this. And it just fits real nice, and that just helps, since they're such big windows, it helps keep the heat out or the heat in depending on the weather.
Okay, so moving on to our kitchen. As you can tell, lots of space for activities. We did this intentionally. We lived in really small apartments before the bus, and we wanted a lot of room to be able to cook together and just have space to spread out our produce, and it works out so nice. I hang out up here sometimes, or if I'm feeling quite tired, I can lay down. So if you're wondering, the butcher block is about 5'2" in length, which is about my height. This is really nice. But yeah, it's just a plain butcher block. We treated it and we love it. It's so woodsy, especially with the green that we painted the cabinet, which was new. We painted it on the road. We used to have it white and it got so dirty. This is a nice change. It just brings up more of the outside in, which is what we wanted. Moving on to the actual parts of the kitchen. We do have this huge door that we made with scrap wood, just kind of following the theme of the barn doors. And this is just our massive pantry, essentially. All the food and all the kitchen supplies down there. In terms of the drawers, as you can tell, these are little sticks, just like the big stick up there. Just use them as handles. So the first drawer is just kitchen stuff and just kind of like half a junk drawer as well. And then this is my clothing drawer, and then this is also sacks. So as you can tell, we do have a lot of clothes on the bus with us for some reason. But up here we do just keep our produce and whatever makes its way to the counter. And we do have this nice little hanging over cabinet as well, which holds more mugs and teas and bulk things, and sometimes a few things from our studio, like these little mugs. And yeah. Moving on, in our kitchen, we have our plumbing, which is very simple, and I'll get into it in a second, but I need to show off my sink, which I love with all my heart. This is a vintage laboratory sink that we found in a restore in Cleveland where we were building. We actually found it the day before we had to install the previous sink that we had, which was horrible. So it was a gift of heaven. It's very wide and it holds dishes, and it's like scratch resistant, so it's been really nice for the road, and it just has that farmhouse kind of feel to it. In terms of our plumbing, super simple plumbing. This is just PVC, just cut as a faucet, and we just spray paint it. it, so that works really nice. And as you can tell, no handles because we do have a foot pump. We keep all of our plumbing behind this door, also with a fire extinguisher because that's good. So as you can tell, we just have our foot pump and then 3 of 6 gallon tubs. One of them feeds our Berkey for water, for drinking. This is our gray water one, and then the other one feeds our sink for sink water. We love this simple plumbing system because it was easy to do, it was really cheap, and it's easy to fix if we have any issues, and it helps us conserve a lot of water, which we find very helpful for boondocking a lot of time. It's something we actually really like.
So moving over here, we have our stove and oven combo. It's just a Camp Chef Deluxe, technically outdoor oven, so it's a 2-burner propane stove. We just have the propane tank back there. As you can see, it has a couple levels. You can actually remove it and change it. We actually like this a lot, and we've realized that having the oven is quite the luxury in the bus because we can bake, and you know, having fresh baked goods on the road is always nice. Down here is where we keep our trash, so we just use this little cardboard box and we just have everything down there. We usually separate our trash and our recycle, so behind it is the recycle. Moving over here is our Berkey water system. This is actually one of the first things that we bought for the bus before we were even building, and we love it a lot. We definitely recommend it. I think this is the royal size, so it holds 3.5 gallons. These are just 2 doors that we got at Habitat for Humanity. Holds our Ninja, like our blender, and just some other food up here. And then this is our fridge, and it is a 4.5 cubic foot fridge. As you can see, lots of veggies. And then it also has the freezer where we do keep our compost because, little tip, it helps not have a smell in the house. So if you just have the compost in a bin or something, then you get flies and it smells a lot, but if you keep it in the freezer, it will just preserve that smell and just keep it in there. So we like that, and that's a really good tip. All right, so as far as insulation in the bus, we have 1.25 inch foam board in the walls because that's all that we could fit in there. And in the floor, we have 1.5 inch foam board. And in the ceiling, we just have the cotton candy insulation because the ceiling is round. We tried to use foam board and it just kept breaking and it just didn't really work out that well, so we just shoved as much up there as we could, and then we enclosed it with this wainscot panels. They are the 4x8 sheets. We liked them a lot, actually. They are pretty cheap, and you know, it's only 4 panels for the entire bus, so it's a pretty quick assembly as opposed to each individual plank. But they are a little bit heavy when you are installing them, so if you have 2 people, it can definitely be a bit of a problem. But we like the way it looks a lot, and we think it's really pretty, so I would recommend.
We did buy the bus in August of 2018, and we hit the road in May of 2020. So it did take us about 2 years, but we were working on it 1 day a week, just every other week kind of, and then at the end we did get serious and finished it up all in like 2 months worth of work, working both of us full-time in the bus.
We bought the bus for $5,000 and we did the conversion in about $4,000, so we came in at a little under 10 grand for the entire bus, which we're really stoked about. We wanted to do it under 10,000. We do think we could have got the bus for a little bit cheaper, but we didn't know that back then. But yeah, we're really stoked about it.
Our prices were so low. Well, we did build a little bit before the pandemic, but more than that is just we really got creative with sourcing materials and upcycling materials we had. So I'll show you up here, for instance, like all of the wood that you see up here, like this wall, it has all different sizes. These are all scraps of 2x4s or 1x3s that we used in like the pre-build or like the floor. We kept every single wood scrap that we had, and then we just found a place it could go in. So all of this we built with scraps. All of this we built with scraps up here. Like I mentioned before, this is just pallets. We had run out of wood at that point, and we just had this little wall left. So we just found a pallet in the side of the road and just made a wall out of it. All of our doors in the bus, these are like our Habitat for Humanity, so we paid like $1 for these doors. The hinges were like 50 cents, and they're really nice hinges. These doors never open. Both Our Berkey and our fridge are refurbished. So the fridge had dents on it, so it was just $60. We bought our Berkey out of eBay, and same, it was refurbished, so it was like half off. Bought our Camp Chef stuff off of Facebook Marketplace from a family that never used it, so it was brand new, and they gave it to us for $80. Our vintage sink was $50. When you compare any sink like this, usually on Amazon it's like $300. So just by sourcing vintage stuff or secondhand things, we saved a ton of money. So make sure you do that if you're trying to build in a budget. If we had to give advice to somebody looking to build or dreaming of bus life, I think we would just say go for it and let your creativity go wild. Like, allow yourself to try different things and don't let yourself be scared of the unknown. I think as we grow up, we tend to have like fears of things that we're not familiar with. And I know that could be like a big like insecurity or something that stops you from chasing things. We had no idea what we were doing. We had no construction background, no family with construction background. It was all just YouTube, Pinterest, reaching out to people that had done it, and then just also sitting with each other and just like letting our minds be like when you were a little kid. Just be creative, like try different things. And I think creativity will save you money, will give you something unique that represents you, and then it will also just be an extension of yourself, so you'll feel comfortable and want to do it more.
I think going off of that, just like, it doesn't matter what your budget is, you can make it happen, you know? You don't have to spend $50,000 on a rig. We did it really cheap. There's people that have done it cheaper than us. Mm-hmm. It's just all about being creative and knowing that it's your space and it can look like whatever you want it to look like. It doesn't have to be what you see on Instagram or what somebody else does. Like, just do what makes you happy, and at the end of the day, like, that's the best thing you can do.
Yeah, have fun.
Have fun.
Yeah. So income on the road, which I know is something we were really scared of. We've been on the road for over a year and a half now. And again, creativity. When it comes to income on the road, allow yourself to try different things. And I would say financial freedom comes from multiple streams of income. Definitely chase that through different things that you're passionate about. We've done a little bit of everything on the road. We've done seasonal farm work. We've done gigs that we find just like in Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, just small jobs. We've also started our own like studio. Zach is artistic and likes drawing, and I like collecting vintage things. So we have a little studio, Slow and Wild Studio, if you want to check it out. So we created that as a way of creating income for ourselves. We do a little bit of social media content creation as well. I've had remote jobs like online on the road as well, doing like translation or freelance work writing. So just allow yourself to explore different things. It doesn't have to look one way. Try different things. And if I could say something, if you want to do freelance work, start before you hit the road. Start building those things, those contacts, those platforms before. That way when you're on the road, you already have like a base and you feel more comfortable that way. I'm Fiorella.
And I am Zach.
And this is our shuttle bus home named Luna. It's a 2003 Ford E450 that we self-converted into this tiny boho home on wheels.
You can find us on all social media platforms at Growing Slow and Wild. And we also have a studio where we sell my art and her vintage items, and that is Slow and Wild Studio. The links will be in the description.
Yeah, and if you want to learn more about our build or have questions about our budget, we are on YouTube as well with Growing Slow and Wild, so you can find us there. We love answering questions and helping you get on the road, so if we can do that for you, don't hesitate to reach out to us. And we hope to see you over there, so thanks for watching and thanks for touring our home.
We appreciate you.
Have a good one.